But spring is just like a burst of energy. I love it. I love spring, and like a little bird, you can go and gather things. I would describe my work like a bird. Like I collect things around and bring it back home and put it in my nest and have my home and my environment there. So I'm a bit like a bird at the minute, collecting all sorts of treasures. Foraging for clay is really exciting. It's like looking for gold. It's a bit like that. You don't know what to find in the clay. All of these wonderful things that you'll find in the ground. It's the memory of that location, the smells, the weather. You're going to treasure every little bit of that in your practice because you're not going to waste it, because you know it was really hard to get hold of, or it was hard bringing it up the steep hill. The forget-me-nots has got two colours, the white and the yellow. I love the memory, the story, the smell that comes with it, and it captures the time just perfectly, and the simplicity of that item that holds the energy. What does this bring to my practice? So I have my vessels, and I'm very much in the moment of when I'm making them. The clay will speak for itself, my hand speaks for myself, then my brain comes afterwards. The vessels choose me, so it's the other way around. It depends how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling great, I can do these beautiful things, and it kind of maps the road out in my sketchbooks. Comes after, in the sense of I will draw it and take elements out of it and put it onto paper for me to have as a record with textures or with the colour palettes. My colour palette has changed over the years, and the greens is just so hugging, and it's around me. There's so many greens. Greens in the winter, green in the spring, green in the summer, green in the autumn, and there is something so grounding and fresh about greens. But brown, I love browns. They just make me so happy, and it's just so comforting to have a giant hug in a cave. And it changes, it always does. You know, depends where you're going. Your colour palettes will change. You will change with the landscape. Because that's one thing we forget with the park landscape. So. If you look at this pebble, it's not perfectly round. Some of them are, don't get me wrong. Some of them aren't, and all the pieces of clay that we were holding today, they weren't perfect. They were straight from the ground and compressed a little bit and dried out. So if I would describe it like that, where the perfect doesn't matter, it doesn't need to be perfect. And I find that so beautiful in so many ways. You get the rush, you're working with the four elements, you're working with the wind, fire, earth, and air. You're praying to the gods, surrendering to your pots. So you pour your heart into these beautiful vessels with these lovely materials you've gathered, and it's up to the kiln gods if they want to give you a full vessel or they want to give you 1,000 pieces. And I think for me it's like surrendering all of this to my vessels and to the fire. To be really mindful of where things are coming from and how does that affect me, but how does that affect the people, how does that affect the earth, and having the fine balance of everything. The intention that you have with things is the most important thing and the most valuable thing you could ever ask in life. And it's passing that intention, that happiness to the next person. It's just all part of sharing, caring, and the intention behind things is so important.